So I'm like 4 or 5 books behind on my reading goal, which I'm tracking on Goodreads, okay? Who doesn't track on Goodreads? But anyway, I just noticed last night that I'm like literally about to be 5 books behind, and here's the thing. Last year we got like 20 books behind at one point, and I can't have that. So today's video is going to be a reading vlog. Hi, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're not, welcome back. The goal of the video is going to be, let's get my reading goal back on track. Honestly, I don't know how long this is going to be filmed. I don't know if it's going to be a week. I don't know if it's going to be a couple days, but we need to read like 4 or 5 books. So let's get started. Now it's time for my favorite part, which is picking a book. I'm not going to lie, I've been really good at not buying books because I just recently organized my shelves on a video. I just organized all my shelves because I thought I had book mold, and I just realized how many books I have that I haven't read. So I'm really excited, and let's get through them. My goal is I'm not gonna buy another book until I've read every single book I have. So that's also kind of a goal that we're doing in this vlog, by only picking what I already have. So let me show you my shelves a little bit. We've got romance, okay, and then we have, you can tell, dark romance. These are all the books that, like, they're not romance, they're not nonfiction, they're just kind of, they're fiction, but they're not romantic. And then here are all of my language learning, my crochet books, my fantasy or fantasy romance, and then I do have a couple nonfiction shoved up here because they didn't fit over here. But these are all of my, like, nonfiction. I have a couple self-help, but mostly like spiritual books, things like that, religious books, gardening books, things like that. So those are over there. But we're going to be picking, and I also have books up there, but I think those are the ones I've already read. So we're going to try not to do any rereading, but I might need to reread, you know, just because I have a couple that I've been wanting to reread. So let's go through what we got here. Let's see. I kind of do, I don't know. I feel like Book Lovers should be our first one because I always say I'm going to read this and then I never do. And if I'm right, the setting is kind of like summer. I don't know. Maybe a little, I don't know. Because I do want to read this book, but it's kind of like a standalone series with this one that I've already read, so I don't know if I want to reread this one first, or like this one is another standalone to this one that I've already read, so I'm like, I don't know. And some of these I've already read, like I've already read this one and this one and this one and this one, and I don't think I'm in the mood for a dark romance. I think I'm more fiending for like a summery, bright, like yay romance, because it's starting to warm up outside and the sun's starting to come out, so I kind of want that vibe right now. But I feel like if it were nighttime and I was picking a book, I'd probably be going for the dark romance or the fantasy. So but let's read the back. So Book Lovers by Emily Henry. Let's see if the vibes are good. Nora Stevens' life is books. She's read them all, and she's not that type of heroine, okay? Not the plucky one, not the laid-back dream girl, and especially not the sweetheart. In fact, the only people Nora is a heroine for are her clients, for whom she lands enormous deals as a cutthroat literary agent, and her beloved sister Libby. Libby is the name of a library app where you can get free books. Interesting. Also, a little information for you if you have no money and you want to read. Get a Libby app. Which is why she agrees to go to Sunshine Falls, North Carolina. Okay, so we've got some accents. For the month of August, when Libby begs her for a sister's trip away, which visions of a small town transformation for Nora, who she's convinced needs to become the heroine in her own story. But instead of picnics in meadows or run-ins with a handsome country doctor or bulging four-armed bartender, Nora keeps bumping into Charlie Lastra, a bookish, brooding editor from back in the city. It would be a meet cute if not for the fact that they've met many times and it's never been cute. If Nora knows she's not an ideal heroine, Charlie knows he's nobody's hero. But as they are thrown together again and again in a series of coincidences, no editor worth their salt would allow. Okay? What they discover might just unravel the carefully crafted stories they've written about themselves. I don't know. Did I just do the piranha bite right now? Oh my god. I don't know. I don't know. The only other one that I've kind of been back and forth with, like, wanting to read is this one, which is Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabriel Zevin. And I think this one, yeah, I think this one's about, like, 2 kids who have cancer who are dying. So I'm like, ooh, I don't know. I don't know if I want to get into that, you know what I mean? I'm kind of already in a bad mood emotionally, so I kind of want like a light fluffy romance, and then maybe we can get sad after that, you know? Alright, let's start with light fluffy romance, and then we can dive into books that are gonna make me cry. Let's try and feel all emotions in this video as well. We have a couple goals. So I'm on chapter 6. I'm about 77 pages into the book, and let me just say, I'm kind of a fan, okay? I'm kind of loving it. Here's the thing. It's kind of weird, like, I don't know. No, I kind of love it. So basically, she goes to this, like, small town with her sister for, like, a month to just, like, I don't know. She's a literary agent. She's like, let's just vibe and chill, and, like, get her sister's like, let's have a book romance, like, a romance novels month or whatever. And she gets there, and then guess who she bumps into other than the guy she hates, also in publishing. And he's at the bar or whatever. She bumps into him, and she's like, what are you doing here? And then he's like, I'm from here. I was born here. So we find out that this brooding, mean publishing agent was born in this small town. And the reason they go to the small town is because it's from her favorite book. It's like her favorite book was placed in that small town. And then if you read the prologue, which I usually don't do, but I did this time, she meets this publishing agent 2 years prior to the first chapter. And they're meeting for lunch to talk about a book or whatever. And he's basically like really cynical. And you find out that like he read her favorite book, which is placed in this town. And he was like, it wasn't that good, blah, blah, blah. And she got really upset about it. So when she found him in the small town, she was like, what are you doing here? I thought you hated this town, blah, blah, blah. And then he was like, I was born here. So far I like him though, I think. I don't know, I like them when they're mean, you know what I mean? I like be mean to me. Like, but not in real life, just in the books. But I'm almost 100 pages in, and I was looking through, it's actually not that long of a book. It's not even 400 pages. I'm pretty sure it's like, yeah, it doesn't even hit 400 pages. It's like 373 or something. So I'm gonna get this done pretty quickly, but I'm a fan so far. Oh, and the only thing I don't like about it so far is the fact that it has like references to real things, which I hate. I hate when a book does that. I hate when you're reading and they talk about COVID or they talk about Snapchat or Instagram, and I'm like, oh god, like those things don't exist in books, you know what I mean? But they talk about, like, they bring up Anne of Green Gables, which is like a book and also a show that I just finished watching, so I'm like, ew. And then they also bring up A Little Life, which is another well-known book, so I'm like, bleh. Like, make up your own things. I hate that. I hate it. It immediately pulls me out of the book, and I don't like that. So anyway, almost 200 pages so far. I'm loving it, and it's giving me that like cute romancy feel that I was wanting. So I'm gonna keep reading. I'm gonna have to look up whether or not this, I'm trying to place you on the fucking, oh my god, I cannot talk. Anyway, I'm gonna have to look up if this author is a millennial, or maybe their editor is a millennial, because there's just some cringe moments, and you can always tell when the author is like painfully millennial, like not Colleen Hoover painfully, but like almost to that level. Just sometimes I'm like, why say these things? Like, cringe, okay? But I need to read this part to you because that's how I feel. I look naked. I'm not. I have a tank top on, okay? It's a tank top. Okay, basically they're arguing at the bar or whatever. They're arguing about how she's like not sweet or something. Whatever. But this is the part that's cringe. She goes, my sister's the sweet one. If she pees outside, flower gardens burst up from it. Why are we talking about your sister pissing outdoors? Okay, you were at a bar with a man who's attractive, who's sexy, who's charming, okay, who obviously likes you, and you're talking about your sister popping a squat outside. Like, just shit like that. Like, why are you saying that? It's one of those moments where it's like, ew. It's like if you said it in real life, your brain would immediately be like, why did I just say that? But she doesn't do that. The conversation just continues. So, I'm thoroughly enjoying myself, and I am kind of pulling myself out of a reading slump. So if you're in a reading slump, I think you should pick up this book because it's working. It's working, and I think I'm going to finish the whole thing tonight. So, we are very zoomed in. Why are we so zoomed in? Anyway, I'm still reading, but I wanted to say I had a thought that I need to get out. I love her. I love both of them, but I really love her because they're at the bar right now, and she just like basically, she's so mean. She word vomited and was just basically like oversharing queen, okay? She's an oversharing queen. So she's just sitting at the bar. She's like, yeah, my dad left me when I was little, and we don't really, you know, he doesn't really, I don't know, he doesn't want anything to do with us. So and then poor Charlie's like, oh. And you know why she said it? She said it because he opened up about how he's in town because his dad had a stroke or whatever, and then she could tell he was kind of uncomfortable, like he felt like he overshared. So she was like, okay, I'll just like really overshare. I get it. I get it. Also, this is such an easy read. Like, I'm flying through it. After not picking up a book in a while, I always feel like I'm kind of slow getting back into it, but I'm like flying through it, and I kind of love that. If you need a book to fly through, I recommend. I'm loving it. The pacing of this book is so good. It is so good. Like, okay, this is gonna sound like it's sponsored, and it's not, but we're at page 107, and they just kiss. They kissed, they kissed, they kissed. And listen, usually I'm like, are we moving a little too fast? But then I looked up and I was like, oh, it's like page 107. So I guess it kind of makes sense. But the kiss ended with a, let's pretend that never happened. And they're both just like, yeah, that was a mistake, obviously. Obviously. Ah, it's so cute though. It's so cute. Okay, leading up to the kiss. Spoilers, obviously, if you're watching this, you're gonna get spoilers. But leading up to the kiss, he was walking her back to like the cottage or whatever, and she's going up these like muddy ass dirt in her heels, and her heels are like getting into the dirt and like piercing the dirt or whatever, so she's like having a hard time walking. And he's like, you need me to carry you? And she's like, no. And he's like, okay. And he carries her. He gives her piggyback all the way up the hill. And then they get to the top of the hill, and it's raining, and they're all soaking wet, and then they get all steamy, and then they kiss, and then they pull away, and they're like, let's pretend that never happened. But like, we're not gonna pretend it never happened. We're not gonna forget. We're getting together. Also, oh my god, I love this book. The pacing is just so good. It's so fast without feeling rushed. Like, I'm gonna have to read other books by Emily Henry. I was trying to be a hater because usually if an author is really popular on Book Talk, like, they're not always a good author. It's just like sometimes some things just get on like a popular train and they're not that good. But I like this book. And really the only reason I actually bought it was because creator I watch on YouTube, Carly, she said this is one of her favorite books. So, and she doesn't really read romance. So if a non-romance reader said this was her favorite romance book, I'm reading it. Okay, I'm reading it. Okay, I think Emily Henry is a Gilmore Girls fan because this is the second time something in the book has happened and I've been like, that happened in Gilmore Girls. The first time, there was something else, I can't remember, but there was another thing, the town meeting, okay, Gilmore Girls. They go to the hospital and he hates hospitals. Okay, literally Luke from Gilmore Girls. And there was one other thing that happened that literally happened straight out of Gilmore Girls. So I'm willing to bet like $3 that Emily Henry is a Gilmore Girls fan. Ignore the weird lighting coming from the window. But I finished Book Lovers by Emily Henry literally like 5 minutes ago. I just got out of the shower. I listened to the last chapter on audiobook on the library app so I could finish it because I needed to shower, but I wanted to finish the book. So I actually loved this book. I thoroughly loved it. I'm not gonna say too much like spoiling, so I'll just say that like it was really good. If you're in a rut and you like romance, definitely read it. If you're looking for like a summery kind of vibe romance, definitely read it. If you don't read for smut and you're looking for a book that doesn't have a lot of smut, read this. I think there's maybe like 1-2 page smut scene in the whole thing. So if you're looking for more romance and less just like smut to read, this is for you. I will say another annoying thing I don't think I brought up is the fact that her sister calls her sissy through the whole book, and every single time that she does that I like cringe. So other than that, I like the book. So we are one down for this reading vlog, and I'm gonna update my Goodreads and we'll see how many books I'm still behind. The goal is to get caught up on my Goodreads, okay? That's the goal of this video. So let's see. I am 4 books behind schedule for the time of year it is, so we have to read 4 more books throughout this span of this video. And I'm trying to get this video up this month because I haven't posted in a long time on this channel, so we have to read these. So I've been going back and forth on whether or not I want to kind of like break up the romancy with something non-romancy, but I don't know. So I'm gonna put this back in my shelf and let me look at some books. So one that I was kind of thinking about as I finished that one was this one, On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous. Someone said if you liked A Little Life, you'll like this book, so I got it, but I don't know. I think it's gonna make me sad. On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous is a letter from a son to a mother who cannot read. Written when the speaker, Little Dog, is in his late 20s, the letter unearths a family history that began before he was born, a history whose epicenter is rooted in Vietnam. At once a witness to the fraught yet undeniable love between a single mother and her son, it is also a brutally honest exploration of race, class, masculinity in our current American moment. Immersed as we are in addiction, violence, and trauma, but okay, this one's gonna be heavy. I don't really want to read something heavy. Well, okay, here's the thing. I'm trying not to be a smut book whore, okay? I'm trying not to. But it's really hard, okay? It's really hard when that's all I want. Especially since this, like, fed my romance craving, but it did not feed my dirty craving. And I have a dirty craving right now. So I want to read something with just a little more, you know, spice. Lots of spice. A lot more than what I just read. I don't know what to read. I don't want to pick a really big one because we're trying to read 4 more books as soon as we can. So do we want to pick from the dark romance shelf? Let me show you what I'm looking at. That's where we just pulled the Book Lovers from. This is like my light fluffy contemporary romance. Then we have my dark romance, and then we have my miscellaneous books that aren't romance that I need to read. So oh yeah, these are like the same category. And then I have my fantasy romance. I'm not really gonna hit those books at all because I don't want to learn anything. I just want to escape. So we're really just picking from these. And when you look at it, I really don't have that many books. I don't know. I've already read this. God, I don't know what to read. I don't know what to read. I want a smutty book. Lucy Score. Okay, we read Emily Henry. Let's mix it up. Maybe we read a Lucy Score book. And this is Mr. Fixer-Upper. I mean, it looks pretty smutty. Let's read the little back of this one. Gannon King. Ew, hate the name. Gannon King is great with his hands, and if you believe what you read on Twitter, he's sex in a tool belt. The reality TV star learned his lesson about falling for pretty packages the hard, painful, humiliating way, and he's not making that mistake again. Sure, Legs is gorgeous as hell and smart-mouthed, two of his favorite qualities in a woman, but she's an icy network kiss ass, at least. That's what he thinks until he catches her being human. Field producer Paige St. James. My name. The main lead has my name. Okay, okay. Zero time for temperamental stars, especially Gannon, who does his best to get under her skin. She's got plans to get out of reality TV and do something that matters. But ratings are king, and when Paige and Gannon Sparks are captured by cameras, the network smells a time slot victory after an on-set accident and a vindictive celebrity girlfriend. Paige finds her reputation in tatters and her job hanging by a thread. She never should have trusted him, but now that he's gotten those talented hands on her, Gannon's never letting go. Ooh, okay, okay. Ooh, I kind of love that my name is in this book. Like, the female lead has my name, so we have to read it. So this is our next book, Mr. Fixer-Upper by Lucy Score. Let's get reading. Okay, I'm only like 20 pages in, but I am loving this, okay? I'm loving the fact that my name is the main character's name, okay? Loving that. I'm also loving the concept, because when I read the back, it said reality TV star, and I immediately thought like Love Island. It's not like Love Island reality TV. It's one of those like remodel shows where they take a family who's like hardworking and needs remodels and stuff, and then they like remodel the house, and then they surprise the family at the end. It's like one of those shows, and she's like the director, and he's one of the guys who's like remodeling the show. You know what I mean? They're remodeling the house. So it's like one of those cute, nice, heartwarming reality shows, and not like annoying Kardashians or like Love Island, which was what was in my head when I started it. So like a happy surprise that it's like that. And I love the fact that my name is all over this book. It's so exciting. It makes it like, I'm one of those people who puts myself in the main character's like position when I'm reading, so it's just so much easier for my brain to do those gymnastics because she has my name. But I'm gonna keep reading. A little update on where we're at with the book. I've just reached about halfway, maybe like 45% of the way through, and I have some thoughts. At first I was kind of loving it, and now I'm like, meh, I don't know, it's losing me. For one, I don't really care for like the setting of like the workplace romance, like reality TV producer kind of thing going on. I'm losing interest, and I hate Gannon, or the fuck, is that his name? Gannon? Yeah, I hate Gannon. Like, I don't know, the main male lead. I'm not a lover. I kind of hate him. He has this like weird douchebag vibe about him, and there's this really huge ick part in the beginning where he like has a tantrum and like throws a measuring tape against the wall because the times aren't working out right for him. Like, he throws a literal baby tantrum as a grown man, and she somehow manages to still like him. I lost feelings the moment that happened. I was like, well, the ick has been set, and there's no going back. And now we're almost 200 pages in, and I like still hate him. He's just icky. Like, I don't get that vibe, and I get it, like, he's hot or whatever, but she's like, oh my god, he's so sweet to this little girl who has cancer. I'm like, okay, the bare minimum. Being sweet to a little girl who has cancer should be the bare minimum, okay? We should be talking about the fact that he threw a measuring tape against the wall because you said he had to get to work at a different time than he thought. No. No. Honestly, out of all the Lucy Score books I've read, this one's just not hitting. I usually love her books. They do have a tendency to drag on. Like, she has two other ones that are just so long. Like, they just drag and drag and drag. They're like 500, 600 pages of just slow burn. This one, I mean, it kind of drags, but I think it just, I'm disliking it because I don't like the guy. Like, I don't understand why we're supposed to like him. Like, usually when I'm reading a book like this, I should also like the character we're rooting for, and I don't, and I have no desire to like him. Also, he's just gross. Like, ew, I don't know. There's just like no, he has no like I don't know the word I'm looking for. He's just like, he's tacky. Like, I just, bleh. Like, she gets injured and there's like a whole couple chapters where he's like helping her wash her hair and stuff. And like, that could have been done really sweetly and you could have showed how good of a guy he is. But then she like the author like sprinkles in like these nasty ideas he's having while he's doing this thing for her. And I'm like, ew, like instantly ick. Like, if you're gonna help wash her hair because she got into an accident and she can't physically wash her hair and you're gonna volunteer to do that, I don't want to hear about all the dirty thoughts you're having about her. Like, she's injured and needs help and you're helping her and she's naked and like exposed, and it could have been a really well written scene. I've seen it done before and I just feel like the way it was written, this was just trash. Like, ugh, like you ruined it. Like, bad taste in your mouth. Like, bleh. Like, why are we rooting for this guy? I don't like him. Why does she like him? Why are we even doing this? Like, why am I reading this? That's how I feel. Anyway, I did not realize I had that strong of an opinion on this book. But yeah, but I am in a new year of seeing it through. So we have to finish it even if I'm not really enjoying it. But I think I'm just gonna really like try and blast through the last 200 pages, I think. Yeah, it's like almost 400 pages long and we're about to be at the 200 mark. So yeah, I'm just gonna blast through the last 200 pages and I'll give my opinion probably when I finish it, unless something wild comes up. But as for now, I'm not really rolling with it. I don't like it. I finished it. I finished Mr. Fixer-Upper by Lucy Score, and I hated it. I don't know. I feel like I hated it, and like the last 100 pages kind of brought it around. So like, I give it like a 3 out of 5 stars, but I just didn't like the idea of it. It was basically like in the first like 25% they hook up and like she's happy, whatever, and then she finds out that like he cheated on her, but he didn't really cheat on her. It's like a miscommunication thing. But then she decides like, yeah, fuck, like I don't want anything to do with this. So for literally the rest of the book until like the last 100 pages, she's just like this whole section, she's just like, he sucked, men suck, I'm just gonna focus on work. And then the last 100 pages she's like, oh, actually I do love him, let's get married. So I'm like, I don't like when things happen like that. I don't like when they get together within like the first 50 pages and then it's like huge miscommunication and oh, now we're both heartbroken for the rest of the book until the last chapter. Like, I don't like that. I hate it. Plus, I hated his character. There was nothing to like about him. He was just a douche, like, in my mind. I don't know. I didn't really like anything about him. And anything like nice he did for her, I'm like, okay, that's expected. Like, usually in romances that I like, they do the expected things and then more, and that's what makes you be like, aw. But this was just like, okay, he's doing the bare minimum, also he sucks. So trash. We have to find another book to read. We are still 3 books behind Goodreads goal. Okay, I put this one finished into Goodreads and it says we're still 3 books behind schedule, so we need to get going. I don't have all, you know, month to get this back up. The longer we take, the more I get behind. So we gotta pick another book that isn't like 600 pages long to just kind of breeze through. And I think I'm gonna find one on my Kindle this time because I've read 2 paperbacks in my collection. So let's give my Kindle some use. And I'm gonna find something and I'll come back when I do. Okay, so I've decided on the next book. I think we're gonna do a little bit of like a memoir moment just to kind of break up the romance and the spice and stuff. So we did 2 romances in a row. I'm gonna do a memoir. I found one. I got it off of Libby, which is like the free library app for my Kindle. So I found it and it's available now. So I'm gonna download it on my Kindle. We're gonna read Page Boy by Elliot Page, which is that one actor from Juno, and I think he's in Umbrella Academy. I could be wrong, but he wrote a memoir on his life. So we're gonna read it because it's one of the memoirs that are available and it popped up and it looks interesting, so let's read it. Let's read it. So I think we have 3 we're 3 books behind. So let's do this one, and we'll be 2 books behind, and then we have to pick 2 more books. Then I will have read, by the end of this video, hopefully have read 5 books in like a week and a half-ish. Because we've only been doing this video for like 3 days, and we're already on book 3. Look at us go. Alright, it's a couple hours later. I have finished the memoir. I didn't really like do updates because there wasn't really much to update about. Also, it ended up only being like 250 pages, so it was a really fast read. But honestly, I hate to give someone's like life story a score, but 2 stars out of 5 probably. I just really didn't like the style, the way it jumped around. It was very much like me at 6 years old, me at 13, me at 5, me at 12, me at 14, me at 23. Like, it would just go back and forth a lot. I didn't like that. Also, I enjoy reading stories from perspectives that I don't have. Like, I am not trans, so I don't know like what it is like to live that life. So I wanted to read it just to kind of get like a little more of inside like view, or like I guess like introspective. I don't know if that's the right word, but reading it, I just feel like there wasn't that much explanation or like depth into like the life, if that makes sense. I don't know how to explain it. You'll just have to go read it, but I just like, I read it and I was like, okay, well that was kind of underwhelming. Like, it didn't really, like when I've read multiple memoirs where I was like, oh my god, like that's insane, where they're like saying stuff that they've never said before, and like Britney's and Jeanette McCurdy's and those ones. I'm like, oh hell yeah, like we're getting intel, you know. And I just feel like it, I hate to say it, but I kind of feel like it was a little half-assed, just a little bit. Yeah. Oh my god, I have I'm trying to like I feel like I keep going back further with my bangs when I cut them. I keep pulling more forward, so I'm trying not to do that. But that leaves for like oddly like lengthed bangs. Anyway, we finished it. Okay, I added it to my Goodreads and we are now 2 books behind schedule. So we have 2 books left to read in this video. Now, I was going through my shelves looking for something to read. I'm not quite ready to get back into romance yet. Honestly, the Mr. Fixer-Upper book really just like threw me off of romance. I was looking through my shelves and I literally forgot that I started this book, literally bookmarked it, started it, and it was sitting on my nightstand. And I, like, have you guys ever done that? Have you guys ever started a book and set it down and then forgot about it and then came back and was like, I want to read something, and then grab something off your shelf, completely forgetting you started something? Yeah, so I want to finish this because, for one, I already started it and it's good, okay? I started it, I was tanning outside and I started reading it, I think it was like a week or 2 ago, before I started this video. And basically it's called Where Two Worlds Meet, How to Develop Evidential Mediumship by Jeanette, okay? A slay. I kind of got interested in mediumship recently. My parents went to go see a medium for something and they came home and told me about their experience, and I was like, I want to know more about this. Like, I'm very curious. So I bought a couple books used off Thrift Books, and they came in and I started reading, but I want to finish this. I'm already 45 pages in, so I think it's a fast read. There's only like 250 pages, I think. Yeah, there's only not even 200 pages, 170 pages. So I figured since I already started it, we can finish it out, and it's a nice little change in pace from the romance and the memoirs. A little nonfiction kind of info book. And so I'm gonna finish it and hopefully finish it today, so we'll really get closer to our goal. And then maybe we'll jump back into romance for the 5th book, because hopefully I'll be ready by then to jump back into romance. Okay, so I finished book number 4, Where Two Worlds Meet. Okay, I actually enjoyed this. I think I learned a lot. It was kind of interesting just to kind of get in the mind of a medium and learn that, like, it's kind of like, it's like a muscle that you just have to work at, and some people have it easier than others, but it's not like impossible unless you're born with it kind of thing, which I always thought was one of those things where it's like you're either born with it or not, and I guess it's not like that. It's like a muscle you just train. And this book has a lot of good, like, if you're interested in getting into mediumship, this book has a lot of good, like, exercises to practice and, like, hone in your skill. So I definitely recommend. It was really cool to learn, like, the history of mediumship, but it wasn't too boring. She kind of kept the flow going. I like when I'm learning about something and it doesn't feel like I'm learning about something, so that's kind of cool. And it was a fast read, so I would give it 5 out of 5. I liked it. Definitely recommend it to anybody interested in mediumship. So I added this one to my Goodreads, and now we only have one book left to read. We're one book behind schedule, and I've already decided what I'm going to read. I got The Summer I Turned Pretty on my Kindle from the library app, the Libby library app, for free. And I only have it for a couple more days, so I'm going to read it because I've had it sitting on my Kindle. I started it and I literally got like 10 pages in, and I just stopped reading it. So I'm gonna try and finish it before it gets returned to the library, and that's gonna be our 5th book. So we're ending on a little bit of a romance. I'm pretty sure it's YA though, so I don't think it's like a smutty adult romance. I think it's like a YA romance. And I did watch the show, so I know I liked the show, but it was kind of cringe, and people told me that the books were better. So I'm gonna read the book, the first book. I think there's more than one, but I'm only gonna read the first one. So let's start reading, and then we will be completely caught up. So it's a couple hours later, and I'm like 50% of the way through the book, and it's so cute. Okay, like, yeah, it's a little cringe, but not as cringy as the TV show. Watching the TV show, the acting is so bad. It's just like so cringe, and it's not as cringy because you're reading it, which I like, and it's just such a cute, like, YA coming of age, like, fun summer book. And it's definitely getting me into like a summer vibe, especially since it's heating up in California. We have a cloudy day today, so I'm kind of feeling like watching Twilight, and I'm trying to keep the summer vibe, so it's helping. But so far I'm liking it. It's a good read. It's a fast read. It's not like slow, you know, it's continuous, it's entertaining. So I'll probably end up finishing it today because I don't have much else to do. But yeah, I just wanted to check in and say that I'm liking it so far. And that completes the catching up on my Goodreads. I just finished the book. I liked it, okay? I liked it. I probably won't read the other ones because it was giving very like YA, and I'm a little too old for them, but they were really cute. They were like a fluffy little summer romance, okay? Sue me, I liked it. Definitely better than watching the show. And yeah, so we are caught up. We read 5 books. I'm on track for the year for my Goodreads goal. So I'm gonna end the reading vlog here. So thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you want. And other than that, I will see you in the next video. Bye.